So what is the market doing right now? I get asked this question all the time, and especially more so recently because we've had a very volatile past year as we've gone through significant interest rate increases. And recently it has seemed that we have reached the end of those interest rate increases, and that's been giving a lot of investors confidence in the market again. So I've definitely been seeing an increase in investor confidence in the coming year. And here's a couple of reasons why I think we're going forward through a period of sustained and just long-term stability. So number one is it certainly appears that the interest rate is now going to remain steady. I'm of the opinion that I don't think it's going to go down significantly just because we've had a lot of items contributing to our economy that is going to make inflation sticky. And so over the long term, I think our current interest rate is probably going to be sustained here for a while. The second reason that I think that we are in for a sustained period of more stability is because there's been a lot of triggers in the economy that have made inflation very sticky. And ironically enough, the Inflation Reduction Act was one of those items that is going to contribute to more government spending in the economy, which naturally is by way of a spending measure and continues to push inflation. So I think that inflation is going to be around at a much more sustained level because of the amount of spending and input that the government has continued to put into our economy. And the third reason that I think that in the investment sentiment currently is well warranted is because here in the Northeast region, we have very solid fundamentals. So there's a lot of areas throughout the U.S. Take Texas, for example. They had a real significant high, and now they are seeing sustained negative rent growth and an oversupply. Whereas in the Northeast, because it is a very high barrier to entry area to develop, we actually have seen much more imbalanced supply and demand metrics. And as a result, our rent growth has stayed positive. And we actually have the highest rent growth since COVID now throughout the US, just because it is a higher cost of living area generally. And we have not had the supply injections that a lot of other markets have had, making this an area that has a very sustained and solid fundamentals to invest in. So over the long term, it's really a time for investors to think long term, which is always how real estate investing should be. So if you're looking to make an investment move, buying, selling, considering what the tax implications of that would be in the coming year, feel free to reach out and we're happy to discuss your situation and assist as we can.